Come on, man. Come on.
Come on, man. Do the thing. Do the thing, on the ground.
So we did get posted. We're up there.
Oh, mangy dog.
It's time. Time to bow hunt, and here's the first episode of the 2022 Michigan Whitetail Deer Bow Hunting Season. Now,
you know for sure he'll watch it because he's got his mug is on it.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I don't know. The old Jer Bear was back. We got Red Squirrel that was up there.
Oh.
I don't know, those two stands that we put up across the street. I don't know, I had 2 deer come in yesterday. Maybe they're just on some sort of circuit.
It was a full moon. The moon time was all in the middle of the night, so I'm kind of surprised we saw them at all. Plenty of people tearing up the tails, tearing up over there, so.
No, them deer don't seem too worried about it. It's the day of wrap up. It's always such a. We have 377 subscribers, and it's called the Nomad Outdoors TV show, I suppose, but in reality, like we were talking earlier, it's not. It's a hunting journal.
It's a journal. That's what we could have easily have just named it Nomad Journal, Nomad Outdoors Journal, or anything like that, because it's not about anybody that's seen it. We're not like, let's do some exciting. Oh man, we're here whacking the big bucks, and it's no. But eventually, 20 years from now, we're gonna say, what year was it that Jeremy got that turkey? Or you guys, and we're going to be sit back and go through our hunting journal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
live stream it at my funeral.
Yeah, it's great to have people in. We were just talking about this last night. Hunting camp alone, while it is an experience, a valuable experience in its own, hunting is a pack thing. And I've hunted alone, and if I have a choice between hunting by myself or hunting with other people, I'd rather hunt with other people. At deer camp, playing cards, watching videos, doesn't make a difference. It's a more social experience.
Wolves hunting packs, coyotes hunting packs, hyenas hunting packs. I suppose the solitary hunter, I don't know.
It's an experience,
yeah.
And I think everybody should do it. I think everybody should have an opportunity where they hunt alone. And I don't mean for the day. I mean like you're by yourself and you're going and coming and going. You get yourself up, got no one else to count on, or no one else pushing you to set that alarm clock or get out of bed in the morning. And it's a good, valuable experience. I think it makes you appreciate being in the pack more. Well, if you're watching this video, then you're kind of in the pack. Because this is just our video of us doing what we're doing, and if you sit and watched it, then you're kind of involved in it. But if there's people out there, this guy, he said something I didn't like, and so to hell with him. Far out, man. What? Don't let the door hit you in the ass. See it? Don't care. It's not. It's just our hunting journal. And you're welcome to come along and watch it. And if you, that's why we don't have 1,000 whatever viewers. And I don't give a shit. We're not monetized. Nobody pays us. We're not sponsored by anybody. We have friends and
Nope.
This costs me nothing. We're not paying to be on YouTube, and nobody's paying us. It's just
Yep.
Just our own personal journal. You like it? Cool. You don't? That's cool. It matters me not. There's my diatribe. It's supposed to be fun. It's just supposed to be fun. That's it. It's just doing it for fun.
I tell you what, it took me a bit to decompress. It's, I got up here, the last weekend in September, and I've had a lot of shit that's gone on in the last year, and It was like a fucking emerald ash borer in my fucking head, just eating away, and it took me almost a week. I've been up here almost 2 weeks now, and it took me a week just to get my head back in the right place. And the good thing is I think I realized where the triggers are now, and all I have to do is just somehow safety the triggers so that I don't get all stressed out again. I mean, there's certain things that you just have no control over, but there's other things that I do have control over. And because of everything else that was going on, I was, it was like, push this aside, put that aside, just do it, and just blah, 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 blah. And it's like, now I'm after, spending some time in the woods, and it was almost like it's almost like you have something that's contaminated, and you have to put it has to sit outside to decontaminate.
Right.
And that's kind of how it was. It's like sitting in the stand my first few days, I was like, oh, I got to check the Facebook, and I got to check of this, and I got to check of that. And I'm like looking at the clock, and I'm like, man, this is, 2 hours? Jesus Christ, how long am I going to be here? And then finally it got to the point to where it's like I came to a realization that when I was looking at the phone, I wasn't aware of what was going on around me.
Right.
So I took and I almost got disgusted. I disgusted myself, and I'm like, nope, put it in my pocket, sit here. And it's like, you've done a lot of reading in Zen and meditation, Buddhism, and they talk about how to strip away those things until you finally become aware of your place in that moment. And then you become comfortable in that place in that moment. And it was like, there's a process. It's like,
exactly.
It's like peeling an
It's
onion.
not a flipping of a switch.
Yep.
It's not, and maybe for some people it is, but I'm the same way. It's when you're living your not in the woods life, you're not in the moment life, you're living your checking my cell phone, what's the weather going to be like today, or who's liking my page, or who's sent me a message, or whose birthday is it, or what's funny. What do I say? Dancing cats.
Yeah.
Got the world on our hands, and we watch dancing cats. But then each day that goes along, that you're sitting out there, you find that you're less and less interested. And then it got to the point where the only thing I was doing was answering texts when we were texting back and forth. And the rest of the time, I could not say, well, I was out there and I was deliberating quantum physics, or I was thinking deeply about my relationship with my family. And no, I wasn't. There was no specific thing. The only thing I had was, if I got a text, I'd answer that. But other than that, I didn't look at the phone. You're just sitting there like, man, this is a beautiful view. And let's think about. You just thought random thoughts, just like clouds passed by. There goes a random thought, and there goes a random thought. And there's another, and you didn't attach to them. You just let them go, and you find yourself viewing what you're in more, and it's just more relaxing.
That's like The Last Samurai. They're going by the cherry blossom tree, and they're like, I wonder if I'll ever be able to see the perfect cherry blossom. And at the end of the movie, when he's on his deathbed, he's like, they're all perfect.
They are.
And it's like it's like such a switch in your view, and that's kind of like, you're looking into the woods and you're looking at like, that leaf's in the way and that branch is in the way and this tree's in the way and that's going to clear my shot and that's going to clear my shot. And finally, when you strip away all the bullshit that gets forced upon you by society and social media and the news and all that other bullshit, it fills your head so that the real stuff can't get in there. And then when you finally flush the toilet and all that fucking bullshit goes away, you look at it now and it's not the leaf that's in my way, you look at the color of the leaf. And you're like, damn, that's a pretty color.
Yep.
And look at how it it blends in with this other one. And then yesterday, the leaves were a different color than that they are today. And
Yep. That's I started picking out. I'm like, okay, so that's a white oak. And I started going from tree to tree, everything that was in my view. Before, like you said, we got there and I was like, this tree is going to irritate the life out of me because it was getting into where my step was, and I'm like, that tree's got to go. And then by the end of yesterday, the last day of hunting, that's when I was trying to figure out. I'm like, is that a poplar? Is that an aspen? What exactly is that? I'm like, nah, it's not an aspen. That's got to be a I'm like just looking at the leaves that you can see around you. I got a white oak right out in front of me, and hopefully that'll continue to grow, even though I'm in a pretty big pine next to it. But yeah, you just start relaxing.
And that all ties into, it all ties into the hunt. And there are probably the vast majority of hunters are out there to kill, 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 kill. And it's like, that's not for us, for Nomad Outdoors TV, that's not what it's about. It's not about the kill. Yeah, great that we'd get a deer and we have our struggles and we have our shenanigans. But, other than Jer Bear, I don't think you or I really struggle too much at, who's going to get the first deer and got to get one in the freezer and got to shoot, got to get a bigger buck. Obviously Jer Bear hasn't shot himself a deer yet, so he's a little bit more probably going to take whatever comes in front of him. But them 2 deer that came in front of me the other day, a thought popped in my head. Oh, first blood. Who's going to get the first deer? And I'm like, man, I could shoot this little one. And I'm like, and you almost get to the point to where you're like, so if I shoot this deer, I got the combo deer tag, so I got to put the restricted on it because it would be a baldy. So you got to put the restricted tag on it, which the next tag, the unrestricted tag, now becomes an 8-point or better, 4 on one side.
No, I think with bow you can put you have an unrestricted and an restricted. Restricted is you have to be 8-point or better. That's restriction, so it's got a big one. But I think during bow you can put that one on a bow kill and then still have your unrestricted, which is because with bow it doesn't make a difference. You can shoot whatever with the bow.
But you think that, anyways.
So I got an extra doe permit just for the in case.
Yeah. But my thought on the process is, man, if I shoot a deer this early in the season, then how do I get to sharing the shenanigans the rest of the time?
Oh, yeah, plenty more.
There's, sure, you could always go out and videotape, but there's something to be said about when you have a tag and you are the hunter. It feels different than when you're the camera guy.
Right. No, it's no, we've never been. People probably are tired of hearing me say, I don't care if I get a deer. I'm just happy to be out here. But if you let deer go, and you're like, or even the one I got last year, I'm like, I haven't had a deer in a while, and I guess that's why I'm here. So I just going to go ahead and shoot this. But it wasn't. We are definitely not the other shows that are specifically like, here's a 15-minute segment, or even like what you actually see on television, those segments where it's like, here we are, in every episode they're killing a deer. Like, if you go on and watch the Sportsman's Channel or Outdoors Channel or something, is there a segment, like a half-hour show that comes out where they don't get a deer?
No.
Somebody in that group, like if it's a guy and his wife, or it's a guy and his kid, or it's 2 women, or whatever it might be. It's like there's somebody's killing something because nobody wants to see an episode where they're not going to kill something. Well, here comes the shocker. Not but here comes the. Don't spoil the ending. We haven't gotten anything. And we don't. And you look at our videos, I don't know how many there are, but I would say, how many kills have we gotten of any animal taken? How much game have we taken and where we actually got it? A half dozen maybe, at the most. Probably turkeys for the most part. And that's because it's our hunting journal. It's not it's not our killing. This is go kill. Got to kill here. Got to kill. If that were the case, we'd have to. First of all, we wouldn't be here. We'd be hunting someplace else in the state. Probably be hunting somewhere down here, because that's where the larger population of the deer is, and a lot of the larger kills are. So that'd be the first thing we'd do, and then we'd be going out of state. Here we are, we're going to Iowa. Here we are, we're going to Illinois. Here we are, we're going to Ohio. Here we are going to wherever, so we can shoot a buck here and shoot a buck here and shoot a buck here and shoot a buck here. And I got to have, this whole wall's got to be mounts on it.
Michigan. So there's more to the hunt than the hunt. And, as always.
Oh, maybe that's the show. More than the hunt.
More than the hunt.
Not more to the hunt, but more than the hunt. It's not just the...
Yeah.
There's more than just the hunt.
Yeah. I would like to say that, it's not that we're shitty hunters. It's just the area that we are in now, that we originally thought was, we thought it was up north. Oh, it's up north, we're going to go hunt up north, and we bought places up here, and then we get off into the woods, and we're like, this is like the biggest hunting population per capita in the whole goddamn state. It seems like everywhere we go, tree stand, tree stand, tree stand, tree stand, pop up, pop up, pop up, pop up, tree stand, pop up, tree stand, pop up, hunt. And it's just, it's a dance. And, everywhere that we go, like the other day, we went out, there's a little island, a half a mile square that goes off into a swamp. When you go out there, the road that goes to it, there's a guy parked right at the end. So, and sure, a half mile, and I shouldn't say it's a square half mile, because it's not typically a square half mile. It's a half mile basically from where his truck was to the end of that, where that
round
space, which a half mile isn't much. And when you try to pack people into that area, then...
And we don't know where he's at.
So then we come back out of there, and we go to that other spot, and the guy's got a tree stand that's literally less than 100 yards off of the clearing, and he's got it marked like a freeway off-ramp. It's like you're going up the roller coaster and all the lights are on.
Oh, it's like one of those, that orange tape was like the old road signs they used to do like back in the 50s, when it would be like, do you need a shave? And it would be, or something like this, and you need this, or Howard Johnson's up ahead, where you should stay, do you know what the kids really like? Who's got a free breakfast? It was like that. It was like every sign was like, oh, what is this one gonna say? What's the next one? How many wraps of tape is the next tree gonna have?
How did that used to go? I think my dad used to say it, or my grandma used to say it, that we have more excuses than Carter had little liver pills. And we do. We got it. We got a ton of excuses, but they're legitimate excuses. If you hunt, you hunt true public land, and what I mean by true public land is areas where there's populations. Because we could go drive up to the UP and go to public land where nobody has set foot in 100 years. That's not the struggle of the average hunter. And
no, if you and the other point is, we didn't buy a place here to go drive 2 hours from here to hunt. That's not the idea. The idea was to leave here, go to hunt, come back, go out, hunt, come back, but every day this is your base. We're not here to have a base and then drive an hour from here and go like, well, I'm gonna leave my camper here so I can go hunt. For we're not leapfrogging.
Staged, leapfrogging.
We'd kind of like to stay around here. So, have we explored every square inch of around here? No, haven't done that. But we've been south, and we've been west and northwest, and now we've been more east. We explored some northeast, and the other thing is, it's not like we're here and all of this is state land. It's public. It's private land. So you only get these pockets of state land, and guess who else is there? All these other people who were thinking the same thing.
I think it's the access. The access that there's a couple of big chunks of state land that are up this way, but it's the access points. And wherever there's an access point onto that state land, that's where everybody goes. That's like, it's like
And we're not talking about a 2-track. We're just talking about like a place you can park your truck that's not on the road.
Yeah, that's Jer Bear's, and he's got a valid point. He's like, you just randomly pull off the shoulder of the road where state land butts up to the road, park your car right there and walk in. Because if you go back on a 2-track, you know what? Everybody else is going back on the 2-track. If you take a footpath off of the 2-track, everybody else is taking that same footpath off of that same footpath off of that same 2-track. And it's, you know, I think I said this yesterday. Backyard bucks. You know, our biggest struggle isn't finding the deer. Our biggest struggle is staying away from other hunters. And I'm going to throw it right out there on the table. But since they made the crossbow legal in the archery season, there is double the hunters that are in the woods now for bow season than there was before.
Especially on the weekends.
Everybody we see carrying a crossbow, got a crossbow in the back of their pickup truck or the back
quad.
of their UTV or on the back of their quad, and I don't know, man. I mean, whatever. It's a means of hunting, and it just, I think it's changing. I think it's even changing the way the deer move, because there's such a big influx of people in October that come November, they've already been pressured. Them deer have already gone nocturnal by the time November 15th gets here, because I shouldn't say everybody. If you can shoot a rifle, you can shoot a crossbow. And that's what's happening. So they buy themselves a crossbow, and now the rifle hunters are into the woods early because they want to get the pick of the big bucks. Well, that's all well and good, but by the time November 15th gets here, them deer have gone nocturnal.
And people will say, oh, well, the statistics show that the amount of kills every year has only done this and it's only gone that, so the crossbow doesn't really... We're talking about people. We're talking about an access to... It's no different than when these houses up here got to the point where people that worked for the big three are the ones who owned a lot of the getaway places because they could afford that. Then the prices of them came down, and it got to the point where civil servants could start affording them. So then they started coming up. Well, you start making... So it was archery was out there, and there were those bow hunters were doing it. And then you come along with and make it so that a wider number of people can come out by doing it, by offering this other thing that doesn't require you to put in the time and the practice that you do with the compound or a traditional or whatever it is. You just come out and, like you said, can you shoot a rifle? Can you look through that scope and make that put the scope there and then pull the trigger? Well, it's the same thing. So now look at the numbers of people that would never hunted, that maybe gun hunted, but that was like that was it. Well, wait a minute. Now you're telling me there's a 9 month or a 3 month season that all I have to do is do the same thing. It's just instead of shooting 200 yards, I can shoot 50 yards or whatever it might be, because I don't know. But I know it's not like 30 is the most. That is my farthest range. It would be 30. So, and I think it's further than that with a crossbow. And you come out and say, so you're getting more and more people coming out. Doesn't require any real labor. That's it. And you're just seeing. Remember when we were hunting? I remember when we were hunting, and all those people we saw when we were hunting off of down by Emery Road. And we'd see all those people coming out of the woods, and we're like, where are these people coming from? Well, those are not regulars that we're hunting. Those are people that are... I mean, I think it's great for older people that can't... I have one, and should something happen to me and I can't shoot my bow, then I would probably use it just to get out in the woods. But I can still use a regular bow, so I'm going to use a bow. My personal opinion. State says you can hunt it. State says you can hunt with a crossbow, hunt with a crossbow. But this is what we see from it, is the influx of people out in the woods because you've made it easier to do it. So I suppose that's the complaint. It's not illegal. It's not unethical. It's not immoral. It just simply is put more people out in the woods that interferes with us. Meh.
And maybe that's what it is. It's like I remember back in the day when I was bow hunting, and I hardly ever ran into another bow hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
No.
And you were surprised when you did. You're like, whoa, somebody's
Right.
actually out here. Now, that's all we run into. And
Right.
everybody has a crossbow. Which is weird, because that guy that we ran into yesterday that said that he was hunting back behind us, there was a quad that was back there the other day with a bow case on it. Not a crossbow, with a bow case.
But he said he was walking.
So
I think that's
maybe
not him.
somebody else was hunting back there and he doesn't even know it. So maybe there's
Surprise.
another hunter back there. Hell, I don't know.
Surprise.
Then there's a guy that put the camouflage horse trailer, like not even 400 yards off of the main street here. He just pulled his horse trailer back there with his truck, leveled it off, and it's camouflaged, and that's what he hunts out of. And it's like, dude, you're right off the quad trail. I mean, like, I get it. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a recliner in there.
I don't know.
That's the way to hunt, boy.
Yeah, he's probably got a heater and a TV,
Oh yeah.
probably satellite TV.
He's probably watching the Michigan game this weekend.
Yeah.
It's not like it's causing us distress or any huge problems. It's not like it's taking money out of my pocket or it's chipping it away at the foundation of my home. It just is. It's just when there's that many more people out in the woods, there's that many more tree stands, and we don't hunt on someone else's.
Yeah, we're not going to set up right.
We don't
next to it.
touch any of your stuff. We're not going to hunt any near. We don't mess with anybody else's stuff. If we find your stuff, that just means we got to press on. That's part of being the Nomad Outdoors. That's it. You go here, there's someone else. That means you have to find somewhere else. You keep going and you keep going.
Yeah, and I'm not going
going
to go 100 yards down the road from somebody.
No.
You know, if I find your tree stand, it's like I got to find another section of woods. You know, at least the bare minimum. I mean, you want to try to be a quarter mile from somebody. You know, because you end up hunting the same deer, and
Yep. And you
It
don't
just-
know what's going to happen come gun season if they're going to be out there with the gun. I don't want to be up. No, I don't want to be around anybody else.
we put up. What did she put up? 4 woodcock. Oh my God! Just so you know, if you're going to hunt woodcock in Michigan, you got to get the free stamp, or you can't shoot them. I don't know. Hey, if you don't study that hunting guide every year,
Oh, yeah.
you're gonna get dicked by the man.
Yeah.
It just.
This year it's the app. You got to get the app.
Oh yeah.
Better
Report your
download the
kills.
While we're downstate, better download the app in case we get a kill.
Yeah.
Gotta tell them your exact GPS coordinates, what color underwear you were wearing, the
Don't
whole
even get
9
me started.
yards.
So don't even get me started on the social dilemma.
Tell them whether or not you had a hat on.
2-part verification. You have to have your phone. If I log in to the email address on the computer, I have to have my phone to verify that it's me. What do I? We just talked about that stupid cell phone. It's like, when I come up north, I leave it on the counter and I walk away from it. If I hear it, I hear it. If I don't, I don't. Remember back in the day when you were a kid? The phone rings. You had to run to answer the phone. Hey, is Jimmy there?
There's no.
No, Jimmy's
that was
not here.
before
He's
voicemail
outside.
Or answering machines or a phone ringing for half an hour if you'd let it.
It just, it was a simpler way of life, and we weren't tied to that phone. But everything that you do in today's day and age, they're tying you to that phone, because you know what they can do with that phone? They can track you.